What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of Joe Boo's day job. You know, it's kind of crazy because yesterday we were working on the red brick house, and I'll be going back down tomorrow to work on it through the weekend and things. And it hit me because we're resheathing the outside. We're pulling off all the old siding and things, and having to, originally they ended up putting the siding right on the studs. So we're putting OSB on the outside of the house. And it's kind of fortunate that we're doing it now than we were doing it, say, 5 months ago. Because it hit me because I picked up 5 sheets yesterday. $10 a sheet. Cheaper than I've seen it in probably 15 years. How much has it actually dropped? Okay. So the 5 sheets that I got yesterday cost me $50. 5 months ago, one sheet was $47. Yeah, lumber has literally dropped that much. Same thing with the 2x4s. Right now, the 2x4s are $3.25. Still a little bit more than they used to be, but still a great price. So at least the lumber prices are down where they're manageable. If we could get the PVC stuff back down with it, then we'd be in fantastic shape. This day job, and we have a little update on real estate. You know, this time last year, the real estate market was on fire. Literally, it was literally houses. I was getting notifications at midnight that a house went on the market, and within 2 or 3 days, they were getting above and beyond the asking price. There weren't home inspections. They were basically as is. People didn't even have a chance to walk through the houses. That's how hot it was. The interest rates were low, and unfortunately, inflation was going through the roof. And building materials were crazy high. Lumber, after hitting record highs at the beginning of the pandemic, had come back down only to rise back up again. Lumber futures were through the roof. And it was hard. It's kind of crazy because I think about just about 5 months or so ago, 5-6 months, I was looking at getting started on the red brick house, rebuilding it. But the cost of the lumber was just outrageous. A 7/16 sheet of OBS, okay, was $47 a sheet. Fortunately, the prices have come down, and now that I'm really into working on it, that same sheet is only $10 a sheet, which is great. Now, copper and PVC is still really high, but you know, I put a whole lot more lumber into the house than I do wiring, and fortunately for me, I had a lot of wiring left from years ago back when it was cheap. To give you an idea how bad it is, 10 gauge 2-wire that I had purchased years ago was about $100 for a 250 foot roll. That roll right now is about $350. So fortunately I got 2 rolls of it, which is more than I need, and don't anybody come rob my house. But maybe here's some good news, because interest rates have been rising like crazy. The Fed has been trying to slow it down by raising interest rate every single month. And if you have an adjustable rate mortgage, and I have one that is a equity line of credit, you know, it started out at about 4%. It's at like 7 now, because literally every time it raises, I get a notification in the mail that says, we're charging you more money for this loan, in which case you want to pay it off. But interest rates had gotten up to about 7%. Now, because of the savings and loan out in California, as well as some of the other banks that have been a little bit uneasy, the interest rates have cratered down into the 5s again, mid 5s. So if you have, and here's going to be the problem, you got to have great credit to get a loan. This is a good time to get a loan. And this is where we looked at before. We talked about the springtime of this year will be a much better time to buy. Now, the funny thing is, of course, when the economy's not doing well, people get scared and they're like, oh no, now's not the time to buy. The interest rates are high and this, that, and the other. No. Right now, this is definitely the best time to buy, because you're not bidding against all these other people. People are actually wanting to make deals. You can get the house for less than you could before. And what's going to happen is the interest rates are going to rise and fall. So, I mean, if you looked at it 2 months ago and the interest rates were 7%, well, right now they're down at 5.5%. You can refinance and lock in as those rates fall. And here's some even better news right now. Right now, it turns out inflation, the the consumer price index, this is how exciting it is. They thought it was going to go up about 0.3% for this month. They thought the prices were going to rise, which is the reason the Fed has been raising interest rates to try and slow the economy down. If the cost of money costs more, then people are less likely to spend money. And they hadn't seemed to be willing to stop that because the job market has been great. There's been more jobs created, and they keep trying to put their foot on the brakes. Well, because of the banking issue, the Fed has said, we're going to pause on the interest rates rising. For a month, at least a month, because they're worried about liquidity for the banks. And I don't want to get into all the dynamics of it, but the thing is when the interest rates were so low, banks were investing in treasury bonds because they were making more money off the bonds, and so as opposed to dividends on other things. Problem is now, because the interest rates are so high, they need to move it out of treasury bonds, because treasury bonds, now they're losing money. They're not keeping up with the inflation. So the Fed says we're going to pump that right now to let the banks get caught up. But here's actually even better news on top of it. The consumer price index, they're expecting to rise at 0.3 for the first time. It's actually come down, which is the reason why they've been raising the interest rates. That is fantastic news, which means that now, all of a sudden, the rates probably won't be rising anytime soon. And again, all this stuff is cause and effect because, of course, the economy slowing down, the fear of the banks being liquidated, you are now seeing the price of oil at a 15-year low. Which means, going back to the PVC, PVC is a derivative from oil. So if the price of oil is going down, that may help the price for the PVC. And with the interest rates going down, this again, you want to buy low, sell high. And for me, I know people always say a bad economy, buy gold because it's tangible, this, that, and the other. For me, and being a landlord, I feel the same way about real estate. As long as I have it as rental, whether the economy and stock market goes up and down, people are going to need a place to stay. And it will rise and fall without me really losing it. I still have that investment that is literally making a dividend every single month. So that's my words as far as investing. I know I don't look like an investment strategist or anything like that, or even look credible. I mean, I look like what I am, construction worker. But for me, I know that now is actually the time to start trying to lock in a loan and to try and go ahead and get that house because of the dynamics of the market. Things will come back. We've seen after the real estate crash came roaring back. It takes time, but you always want to bet on the long term, not the short term. Okay, I'm happy because maybe now that I got all this plastic, maybe the price is going to come down. And I'm happy that the price of lumber is still real cheap. I'm Mark Holmes, and this is my real estate tip for the day. Try and get yourself in a position to buy now. I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you soon.